Good evening, everyone. I got the wrong thing showing. Here's my banners. Hang on, create banner. Where are we? Good evening, everyone. Why have we got this ridiculous StreamYard thing showing? Let me get rid of it. How are you doing, Glow? What's going on? Can't hear you, mate. Can you hear me?
Oh, there we go. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yep, I was on mute. Yeah, I've been great. I had a good morning. I listened to you on Mint and what Brian had to say about what JPEG has going on, and it sounds pretty exciting.
Yeah, I think that let's have a look. Let's put this on. There we go. We're off and running. Yeah, I think that there's going to be some real big movements in the whole of the NFT space on Stellar. I really do think this year, I think there's going to be, Brian's talking about utility. Of course, what we're doing at Drift Exchange is utility. I know that something's coming from Lumenswap. There's going to be Nuna. There's going to be all of these different, NFT projects. And they're all going to be bringing a slightly different vibe and a slightly different utility in some games. And of course, Vengeance is going to be coming. And I'm an advisor on another project that's called Interstellar. That's going to be spaceships and aliens and planets and mining and gems and stuff like that. It's going to be pretty cool. That's going to be coming in 4 to 6 weeks. So all of these are going to be really, it's going to be really interesting to see how all of that pans out, I think, over the space of the year. And of course, I mean, talking the space of the year, Lumenswap, dude, what is in the pipeline for Lumenswap? I spoke to Vlad was it yesterday or the day before? He was unpacking some of the stuff Lumenswap are going to be doing this year. And I think this is the meat and gravy dinner part of their development. They obviously started in 2020, LSP token launch 2021. We saw the lottery, NFT Marketplace, some of the lower key things, that they brought out, the automated market makers. And then now we're getting into like the auction, DAO, lending, potentially bridging to I don't know how many networks, so this is going to be a super highway of liquidity from other networks into Stellar. So it's going to be a pretty amazing year.
Yeah, you definitely see a lot of excitement in Stellar, especially with Drift and all these other cool projects that are coming up. And I think the excitement's just going to keep on building. We're kind of at a down point in the market where everything across the board is down. So it gives the projects that are really building, especially these crazy DeFi protocols that are needed for the Stellar ecosystem, it gives them a chance to shine and for their utility to really take off.
Well, yeah, I think for me, rewards is where it's at. I mean, I advised this Interstellar project that's coming, and I said, I think one of the things you need to do in your tokenomics is you need to have some sort of rewards for the community. I said, this is going to be the way that things are going to be going. And, we're starting to get like APYs, APRs, and all of the funky stuff we're seeing on other networks. We're starting to see it arrive. And I saw a funny comment from someone, I think it was on Twitter the other day, and they were saying, Stellar just used to be like pretty boring. And now it's just this wild west of rewards, where people are like, whoa, I can get like 10% a month here and I can get this here. And the liquidity pools have really kind of opened up a lot of our minds. And, there's people like yourself, there's Damien, there's myself, there's a few others that have got an idea from other networks, yield chasing, where to put our assets and this, and we're trying to pass this knowledge on as fast as we possibly can. Are you enjoying the whole sort of farming and yield chasing and automated market makers?
Oh yeah, it's fun. And you look into Telegram groups, like everybody's in on it. Everybody's trying to get the jokers. Everybody's trying to get the yields, trying to help other projects with the voting, with Aqua. And we could potentially see 3 rewards on that pool. this is just the beginning. I could see pools with 4, 5, even up to 10 rewards coming up in the future if everybody's willing to work together and to build something out. It's like the possibilities are literally limitless.
Yeah, I think that you're absolutely right. I think, when we were talking just on the, kind of almost private thread, and we were saying about, single rewards was the first thing, then double, with, a project, and then getting aqua rewards. And then, so you might have LSP and XLM, and then you get aqua as well. So you get your monthly LSP, your daily aqua. And then we're like, okay, well, Drift will bring in like a whole new concept, but it's not really a new concept, because I've already put this last year before I was even associated with Drift. I put this to Vlad and said, Vlad, this is what we're going to be doing, or this is what I think we should be doing in terms of a mining incentive, a liquidity mining. So getting more people putting liquidity into LSP pairs, not just the two. I think we should be reaching out to the community. I think we should be selecting different projects, some new projects, NFT projects, established projects, and we'd be running them on a certain sequence. And I said to Vlad initially, well, why don't we just run like a 2-month incentive, liquidity mining, where you give away, I think we mentioned like 10 million LSP, which would be somewhere, I think, when we will look at it, I think it's somewhere like $700,000 or something like that, right, at current prices. So $700,000 over the space of 2 months across 5 pools, that are going to be incentivized. So the regular 2 pools, but then do it in a daily reward. Because I think what's happening at the moment, especially with the pools that we've begun, is there's massive excitement, on it. Have you had your rewards? Yeah, like rather than wait until the 28th. I think the 28th is cool because it's a bigger batch from Lumenswap. But I think if Lumenswap flipped that and they started coming out with like instead of doing their rewards on a monthly, they did a daily. Then we start heading to the stratosphere with Lumenswap. Do you agree? Do you think like shorter time frame rewards are kind of better for people, or longer, or what?
I agree. I think with the daily, it's nice because you see them accruing is faster, and you get a chance to compound them. Maybe put it to something like a week or something, weekly rewards. That way, it'll still be a nice lump sum of rewards, but you get it sooner than having to wait a month.
Yeah. I think and I think that what's his name? I mean, like what I was going to be doing with kind of the jokers and the randomized drops, I think that has its benefits as well, because what I've noticed with the pools, people are putting into the pools, getting rewards coming out of the pools, right? Trying to game it. So what I'm going to do with the jokers is I'm going to do it when these people pull out the pools. So when they pull their liquidity out, trying to be smart, I'm going to do the joker drop in that time period. So if you're trying to always be one step ahead, I will always try and look at ways of being one step ahead of that. So that should be quite interesting, but that's a different conversation. I think someone's asked there, who's asked about, Fergal has asked us, do we think round 2 of the Lumenswap lottery is going well? Well, I'll tell you what, Fergal, why don't we do a little bit of a screen share, and why don't we have a look at how it's going? We can talk about it. So let's go down to share screen. Let's have a look at the Brave tab, and we shall go to this one. Let's have a look here. Okay, so Glow, can you see my screen?
I can see it.
Okay, so let's launch the lottery app. We have 100. So this was round 1. So this was the same time period. So this was a month. This one's finishing on the 24th. What are we on today? Around about the 9th?
We're at the 9th.
9th. So we've got 2 weeks of this one to go. And we've got 123,000 tickets. But look, the interesting thing, in my opinion, is we've only got half the amount of participants as we had. So we're getting almost the same amount of tickets sold already, but only half the people. Now, I wonder why that is, why it's half the participants and more tickets. Is it because these participants, I don't know, or one-off people visiting Stellar, or is it because people have got less LSP they want to give away? I don't know. But if we click onto the board, I think we can see there's probably going to be, where's our ticket information. So yeah, we can see that there's people buying in bulk here, still buying bulk tickets. And I think that, I mean, with this amount of tickets to get, I think it's about 63,000. Yeah, here we, what is it? $66,000 worth of XLM. For the price, one ticket is 7, or maybe not even 7 cents tonight. So for me, it's a no-brainer that you should have a hatful of tickets, because it only takes one ticket to win for 6 or 7 cents. One ticket to win. I mean, it makes sense to me to get involved, and I think that it's going okay. However, my opinion, and again, my opinion is not a team opinion; it's just my opinion as an investor. I think the prizes should be equal to and not greater than what the ticket sales are. Right. So if the ticket sales here are 100,000, what we're looking at, let's just use 7 cents. 10,000 is going to be $700. So 100,000 is going to be $7,000. $7,000, and then we've got 120. So let's just call it like $8 and a bit thousand. I don't think that the prize should ever be more than the generated ticket sales, because then you're having to use tokens that can have a different purpose within the ecosystem. I think it should be a rinse and put it out. What do you think that we should be providing these whopping great prizes and only bringing in like $10,000 in ticket sales?
I agree. Yeah, we definitely need to find a way, maybe do one where as much ticket sales as we get, that's how much the winner gets, or we can have a pool of a couple winners. I'd like to see multiple prizes, even if they're smaller prizes, a couple of them smaller prizes. I'd like to see multiple people winning, because that may also be something that's keeping people away. Since there's only one prize, they're seeing as they probably won't have as big of a chance to win something. But if we put in a couple side prizes, that may entice people to play even more.
Yeah, maybe because you can do the whole ticket list, can't you? And I know that, like, say, Sir Cheesley was showing me about the XL and how it has like a random selector. So maybe they put in like maybe a couple of Lucy's, or something that people want, or a membership of the 10K Lumenswap club, and then they do that on even if it's not possible to do it with the actual lottery, it's the people that have bought the lottery tickets. Then it just somehow randomizes those and it picks them out, and then they will just send over to your wallet, because they've obviously got the transaction hash, so they can find out the wallet that's bought those, and then they could just send like a Lucy, or they could send some LSP tokens back that way. Maybe not a Lucy, because they might not have the trust line set up and they wouldn't be able to find out who it was, but certainly they could do multiple prizes. And I agree. I think that there should be multiple prizes in the lottery, and then it would create a lot more excitement. I would rather have 10 prizes of $1,000, and I think then if you've got 10 prizes of $1,000, it'd be like woohoo, rather than one prize of $10,000. And you think, like you said, the odds of you winning are a lot less. So yeah, I agree. What do you think in the comments? What do you think, all of you guys? What have we got here? Michelle has said, have a price based on a multiplier to the number of tickets sold, or a prize, I think, based on a multiplier to them. Yeah, that's a good way of doing it. I just think, for me, one of my biggest concerns, no, not concerns, it's the wrong word. My biggest, if I had to nitpick with something in Lumenswap, it's the sheer amount of rewards, of marketing, of exchange listings that they're doing. And of course, this has a price impact on the LSP token. Everything that they're doing is good stuff. I mean, some of these articles, etc., in crypto press, it's quite good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's not good, but to me, I think there's a lot of misused LSP tokens through the first 6 months, such as this. $66,000 worth of XLM has got to come from somewhere. That means there's got to be a sale of LSP to provide the 66,000, which means you and I as investors are having to take the brunt of that, because that's having to be sold in LSP to provide the XLM. Now, although it's an attractive offer, it's clearly not that attractive because it's not really blown up in terms of ticket sales. I think there's going to be some gradual progressive interest in the lottery as we move forward, of course, because there's going to be more people come to Stellar. But I think they need to protect some of the expenditure through 2022 and look at using us, the army of Lumenswap fans, to be our promoters. That's how I would have gone about it. I know G and I have talked about this in the Lumenswap thread, that you could utilize an exchange listing. To give you an idea, so you people that are new and you don't understand, an exchange listing, a centralized exchange listing, can be up to about $100,000 for a middle of the road exchange. Middle, not even a top one, not a Binance or a Coinbase or a KuCoin or any of them. A middle one, 100,000. Then you have to put in a market making fund, which can be $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, 140. Then you got your marketing, then you got your incentives, then you've got everything else that's coming on. So you're looking at $150,000 plus, middle of the road. Lumenswap have got 10 or more. I can't even think now how many exchanges Lumenswap are on. About 10, I believe. So that's a lot of expenditure because these exchanges won't take LSP. These exchanges are going to be taking USDT. So you have to swap from Lumenswap's LSP to XLM or into USDC, and then they will accept that. And you think about that over a space of 6 months, it's a hell of a lot of sell pressure on the LSP asset. What I would like to see now is backing off the accelerator of centralized exchanges and using those funds that they would be doing that with to do more of a marketing campaign to bring people into Stellar and providing liquidity into Lumenswap assets. Chuck in your thoughts, Glow. What do you think, mate? Do you think centralized exchanges are the way forward, or?
I agree with you. I feel like we're already at enough centralized exchanges. If somebody wants to find Lumenswap, there's plenty of opportunities out there. Like you mentioned, it costs stupid amount to get listed on the exchanges. I've heard it could be like $50K from BitTrue just to get listed on there. Then you have to provide a whole bunch for BitTrue voting and stuff of that nature. At this point, we're seeing people prefer the DEXs over the central exchanges anyways, because you don't have to worry about KYCing, having to hold up your little ID and having to smile and do a whole bunch of different poses just to exchange your tokens. And also don't have to pay crazy high exchange fees to take them off the exchanges. It does. I think the exchanges are crooks. Like, they make so much money off of fees that people don't even realize, and off of all these token listings as well. Like, it blows my mind how much money these exchanges get. But yeah, well, it could be worth it if it's something like Coinbase or something. But at that point, I feel like they'll need to come to us, or they will be coming to us with that offer. We won't have to go to them.
Yeah, I agree. I think you get to a stage where I think those exchanges, when you get big enough and powerful enough, and I think, Lumenswap will be the go-to place on Stellar. I don't have any doubt in my mind, not like an ounce of doubt. I'm not listening to the jungle drums of like the other clients, and I know they're doing some good stuff themselves. But when you start talking about everything Lumenswap are bringing to the table, the way that they're looking at it, the development of Lumenswap is, okay, what problems are there on Stellar? We will build all of the solutions. We will build solutions to help with liquidity coming in. We will build solutions to help with open source DAO, so that people can have, governance and proposals in their projects. We will build open source Lucy NFT. We will work with, a lot of the team interact with the Rabbit team. There's a very, very close collaboration going on there. We will work with Rabbit Wallet to enable a Web3 decentralized browser extension wallet, a wallet that will be on, if you look at the Rabbit documents, I'm not quite sure how it's going to work, but you can actually just download Rabbit Wallet without going through any of the Google, is it Google Play or Google Store, and then the App Store for Apple. So you can just download, so you can have the wallet on your mobile device later in the year. So Lumenswap are trying to think about every aspect of what's going to be happening, and then they're going to be saying, right, how do we, there's this problem at the moment. One of the things that I spoke about in Mint was, there's so many different wallets on Stellar, and there's so many different clients. I get lost myself. I'm like, where do I need to go to check the percentages on, the AMMs? Where do I need to go to link this wallet so I can send this NFT? And there's 6 different options for each different thing. And I think for a new person, that's got to be mind blowing. It's got to be really confusing. So I think with Lumenswap, they're going to be saying, right, you can do everything with us: swap, spot, NFTs, automated market maker access. We're going to be having verified assets. We're going to be having auction incubator, where we're going to have the best projects launching on Stellar. We're going to be airdropping those tokens to our community. We're going to be building out loans. We're going to be building, these effective bridges of sorts. There's going to be this whole package of different clients, and I just think there's going to be a tipping point where people go, oh my God, like Lumenswap is the pancake swap of Stellar. We need to be involved. We need to buy the token, and of course, that's when we start to see that kick in of the token price appreciation. I am anticipating that to be the summer. And the reason for this is most of that huge marketing war chest of tokens will be spent by then. So that sell pressure that I'm talking about, with all of these functions that they're doing, all of these exchange listings, these promotional things, that will have all been done with the marketing budget. And then we'll be into a time where there won't be that sell pressure. Imagine what can happen to the price. What do you think? Price appreciation this year, Glow? Do you think we're going to sort of hit 20, 30, 50 cents this year?
Oh yeah, easy. We've already seen how fast it climbs back. I think it was September, about August, September area, whenever it jumped to like 25, 30 cents. It almost got to 1 XLM. I think we're going to see that again, especially after all the projects are built out. You said it best. Give it a year and evaluate. Still haven't built out all these projects. It's obvious that Lumenswap's devs are some of the most innovative on the Stellar network, and they're trying to fix all the issues that Stellar has. And you got to give them kudos for that. The NFTs, I like the new NFT system because you can put in your Telegram, you can put in your Twitter, everyone will know whose NFT that is. So if they're trying to buy it, they can message you. I think that's a better system.
So let's actually flick. I mean, well, since we're still showing the screen, let's go back and can we go back here? So this is the screen that you would get to, right? If you come onto Lumenswap, we would then need to launch the app, and then when we come down to the app here, we're launching the NFT Marketplace, and you can see here that if we go down to, let's just go down to one that I know about. I know that Vlad's selling no, he's not. He's selling the King here, right? So you could see here, the owner is Lumenswap. So this is the Twitter. So this is what Glow is talking to us about. That this, we can click onto this. Hang on, let me go to mine. Let's go to the Ninja down the bottom. Keep going. So if you go onto the NFT Marketplace, this is the home page essentially. Where am I? Ninja, where are you? There, 77.
Yeah,
okay.
Your screen share stopped whenever it got to select your app.
Oh, okay. Has it? Let's stop sharing, and then let's go back, and let's try again. Okay, so share screen, and try again. Can you see this?
Yep, you're good now.
Okay, perfect. So we've got the Ninja here. That's mine. I'm obviously not selling it, so it's no price there. But you can see what Glow's talking about. So he's saying here, the owner information, look, you've got your Twitter, you've got your Telegram. So you can click onto this, and then there we go, right? It comes straight through to me. And that is really, really useful, because if you want to like hit me up and say, look, I want to give you X for your Lucy, you can just click onto these. And what I didn't know, Glow, is that, you know, you could do that operation. That's a pretty funky operation, doing it through the Rabbit wallet, isn't it?
Yep.
You know, being able to add the link to Twitter and Telegram through Rabbit wallet as an extension. So you're doing it on the Stellar network. I was like, whoa, hang on, this is another level. And, you know, that's just another piece of the jigsaw where I don't even think I know like 5% of what you can actually do by creating these links and the backlinks and website links and everything with your Rabbit wallet.
It's mind-blowing.
You know, it's absolutely insane. So we can actually do these things here, and we can set this up so that you've got your SAPs, as they're called, Stellar apps, and then you can integrate all of these different functions with the wallets so that you can show different information. So yeah, pretty cool. And of course you can do that on the Twitter as well. So yeah, I'm really excited. And since we're on the subject of Lucy's, I'm really excited because Vlad's kind of given me an insight that they may have more than a use, or more use than just holding and trading. I can't say what, but he said to me, and I was like, really? You know, like I'm like pretty shocked. And he was like, yeah, that's going to be something that we're doing. So may I say this to you people watching the show? It is advantageous for you to be holding a Lucy. Yeah, just get one by hook or by crook. And then in the future, I'm sure Vlad will put something through the announcements channel at Lumenswap with how you can benefit from having that. Yeah, it's going to be pretty impressive. So let's just go back to your mum's travel agent's comment here. I am with Glow. Dex is greater than sex. Well, the one with the C, not the S. Yeah, 100%. We are singing the same hymn. Liquidity is where it's at. I said, and it'd be interesting on the comments actually here. I mean, I know that we've got, you know, another thing that was a bone of contention in the latter part of last year was that Lumenswap themselves were providing liquidity, right? So Lumenswap themselves are providing liquidity, which I get. I know that liquidity is lifeblood, but I also think that drift is what we're doing at the moment with drift is a real clue that you don't need to put it in yourselves as a team. You can actually create massive TVL from the get-go by rewarding your community to put it in for you. I think that's the way forward, but I'm interested to hear in the comments, how do we deal with two challenges on Stellar? One, how do we bring in more liquidity? Yeah, so how do we bring in, I mean, at the minute, there's like 40 to 50 million total value locked on the whole of the network. And there's some protocols that are on, like, you know, these EVM chains, they've got like 1 billion in a day, 1 billion. And that's because it's been incentivized by the network to be provided. So I'll go, wow, I'm sticking 10,000 in there because I know I'm getting X amount of tokens. One of these was called Astroport on the Terra Money ecosystem. They did 1 billion, TVL, not in a day, but in a space of just a few days. That's $1 billion worth of our crypto locked into their liquidity pools. And it's because they were offering Astro tokens. It turns out it was worth about $2,000 to me, to lock up about $15,500, $16,000. So more than 10% return for locking up that. Now, Stellar could incentivize projects such as Lumenswap. So they could say to Lumenswap, right, we're going to give you a war chest of XLM to incentivize liquidity. And I think that would be a way that we could really accelerate. But I'm interested to hear your thoughts. How do we bring community members from all of the Cryptoverse? All out there in the Cryptoverse, you've got Telegram channels, 100, 200, 300,000 people. Yeah, how do we bring them to Stellar? We're better, we're faster, yeah, we're cheaper, yeah, we're solid. The network can do a whole host of different things. We've got farming, we've got rewards, we've got NFTs, we've got coolness, we've got the best artists that I've ever come across. How do we bring the community and liquidity in? So, Glow, why people are writing out their comments, what's your thought? What can we do, mate?
Got to keep it exciting. You got to have a whole bunch of incentives to get people on board, and you got to continue. The best salespeople are the investors who are using it, who are getting rewards daily, to post those rewards and to show people like, hey, look what I'm getting. All I had to do was lock up liquidity in this token. I think that's the best way to go about it, because the people who are getting early, they're going to be the architects of the system. They're going to, by providing that liquidity, they're going to be helping the network. They're going to be helping that token be a big player on the network. So I think incentivization is definitely key, but also awareness. Stellar, a lot of people still aren't aware of everything that's going on with Stellar right now, the liquidity pools and all the incentives for providing liquidity. So I think just need to continue to do cross-chain collaborations to get people from other chains aware of what we got going on here.
Yeah, so I think that there's going to be, I think one thing that we need to identify is maybe getting into some hashtags and that kind of thing, with kind of yield farming and look at those niche hashtags around yield farming and that kind of stuff, the kind of degens and the apes over on Binance Smart Chain, Polygon, Avalanche, get them interested. I mean, yesterday we were running at around about 913% APY on the daily rewards on Drift. And I know that with the liquidity mining incentive that Vlad's coming up with for the few weeks ahead, not the few weeks ahead, sorry, it's going to happen in a few weeks ahead for a couple of months. That's going to not be monthly. That's going to be a shorter time frame where you'll be getting your rewards. And I think that will be the catalyst. There will be the trigger where we start seeing Lumenswap move rapidly forward. I really do. I think that the first part of that catalyst is going to be the auction incubator. Now, to give you an idea of the auction incubator, some people missed out on the Lumenswap auction, me included.
Me too.
To give you an idea of this, what happens is there will be a price that will be set for the bottom of the auction. So this could be, I'll just use 0.004 XLM, for example. 0.004 is the absolute bottom price. Now, you have to put in bids higher than, so 0.0041, 2, 5, then you go 0.005, 6, 8, so on and so forth. But what happens on the auction platform is you can see where the bids are in almost like a bar chart fashion. So you can see where all of the bids are for the available amount of tokens. So you just need to add up from the bottom how many tokens are for sale until such a price, and you know where to place your bids. Now, this will create FOMO for one, because you're constantly looking at it to see whether you need to move your price, but also allows you to come in on the top of a whale. So if a whale's come in and they're wanting to buy at 0.005 or 0.006, you come in at 0.0061 and your order will fill before that. So it's a very fair way. And I think that will be the first part where people go, wow, I love this system of token sales, the auction system. This, of course, is going to be provided to certain assets that will be launching on Stellar, but launching it on Lumenswap, guess what they're going to get? Straight in onto verified. Now, I know I'm being tapped up daily by several different projects saying, Ben, can you work it for us? Can we get verified? And I said, I can't do anything, right? From an investor standpoint. And of course, I've got a good relationship with Vlad, but I can't do anything because there's a matrix involved. If the community is not strong, if the project is not bringing a solution to Stellar, right? If the tokenomics, if the funded trust lines, if everything's not strong for that project, it'll just get cast aside until such a time as the utility's high, the liquidity is another thing. Yeah, if there's no liquidity on there, if they haven't looked at providing rewards or trying to incentivize the community to provide liquidity in the pools, they won't be considered. So all of these factors that the committee, I'm part of the committee, believe it or not, like Vlad, just to digress, Vlad said, it has to be authorized by me, Colin, who else? With George and Ben. And I was like, who's Ben? I was like, no one's actually invited me into any committee to make these decisions on these projects. Vlad's just said, well, those three can make a decision without my vote, 75%, right? So I might not get a say in it, but he did tell me that I would actually get a say as well on the projects. But that's going to be something that we would be looking at in the future. All of those things. So it's no good tapping me up with a shitty meme coin. List us, we're the greatest thing since sliced bread, because it just won't. Vlad knows his mind, and he'll just say there's absolutely no way. But if the auction platform releases that token straight in on verified,
you got to prove yourself. There's a lot of tokens on the Stellar network that you get airdrops on Lobster that are worth 0.00. They're not worth anything. You might as well keep that half of an XLM in your wallet and not waste it on a bullshit trust line. So you got to prove yourself. You got to have some sort of utility coming. And with these launch pads, you'll be able to trust that the projects are going to be decent projects. Of course, you'll have to do your own research and look into them and make sure it's a project you like that works for you, but it's not going to be some project that you're going to lose XLM on some bullshit trust line that doesn't really do anything.
Well, there's 10 a penny. I mean, I suppose it's a little bit like I know I still need you to teach me about this XRPL, by the way. But I suppose it's a little bit like both of them. XRPL or Stellar. They got like so many tokens launched, and I look at it and it's like Trump's wife's NFT coin. You know what I mean? And you're like, fucking, excuse my language, but like, come on. Come up with something. Do you know what I mean? It's just like people will just see something on the news and then they're like, right, I'm making a token. Here you go. I'm going to airdrop it. I've got 500,000 trust lines. Look at us go. And all it is just, some airdrop crap. And yeah, it's a weird space to navigate. I find it fascinating when my wife is into I'm not a Lobster user. She is. And she's like on this Lobster and it's like claimable balances. And I look at the names of all these things and I think, what on earth is all this about? As you rightly said, best to keep your XLM safe and sound and not even create trust lines to these things. But Fergal, one thing I want to say, G has put here, fully developed Lumenswap is going to be Stellar's egg-laying woolly milk sow. So that's one hell of a mouthful, G. So do we get sows that lay eggs now? Maybe there's some weird shit in the Biden administration that's done some funky cloning that makes pigs lay eggs or something. I don't know. Maybe there is out there. Who knows? But I think maybe it's the golden goose. Yeah, I think that's where we're at, is the golden goose. And Fergal has put something that is off the chart good. All it takes is one event, like a singer who writes a killer song. How many of them do we know? One hit wonders. Yeah, maybe when MoneyGram goes live, there'll be a big marketing push. Maybe that's our killer moment. Maybe it is. Or maybe we should be saying, let's lead the charge. Let us lead the charge. Let's do our liquidity mining. Let's bring people cross-chain. Let's try and incentivize through hashtag use, through video content, marketing push. Maybe it's up to us as the community to say, look, if we want the network to blow up, we have to take a responsibility, because I think Stellar, in a most part, are going to be doing their like corporate thing, as they have been doing. And then like the Wild West with us that are hunting NFTs, rewards and craziness, they're probably going to keep us at arm's length, aren't they? They're going to love us, but they're also going to keep us at arm's length because we're a little bit rebellious. I think Brian on the Mint show earlier hit the nail on the head. We need a massive public, non-compliance to everything. And I was like, that sounds pretty good. Yeah, but like maybe there'd also be some drama with that. So I think we just need to keep doing what we're doing. We need real marketing. So I like it. No one looks at Stellar, to be honest. I think Stellar community is pretty big.
I think,
but Glow was sorry, Glow, carry on, bro.
Yeah, I think more and more people are starting to realize that Stellar's gonna be a monster. You see Danelle, she's the only one standing up in front of Congress testifying. She's the only cryptocurrency there is in front of Congress. That should say a lot. And then you're getting these maps that show how detailed the system's gonna be. You even I saw one this week that had Lumenswap included on the map in 2 different spots. It was the only crypto on there with 2 different spots on the map. Real world progress is going on. You got the MoneyGram deal, and they also just announced Starlight, which is going to be essentially a layer 2 protocol you're going to be able to do millions of transactions per second. Developmental progress is happening in Stellar, I say, more than any other chain at the moment.
I can't disagree. I think that we are, well, I think Stellar has always been, hasn't it? Hasn't it always been a project where, a network where the development comes first, the marketing comes second?
Always been beyond its years.
Yeah, and I think that, since 2014 and its inception, I think that's just the way it's been. And, do I see a massive marketing push? Probably not. I don't necessarily, until I think they're going to look inside. I think they're probably watching and they're thinking, oh, hang on, these kind of rewards might be working. We might be seeing, it's too early to say now, because I think you touched on earlier on, you're starting to see money just moving around within Stellar. It's not new money. It's just, I'm coming out of that liquidity pool and going into that one, and I'm taking these rewards and putting into that. I don't think there's new money coming in. I think it's just kind of like waves washing up and down. But I think when we kind of start seeing this new money coming in and the total value lot going up with all of these rewards and all the stuff that's going on, then they may pay attention and start thinking, well, the community have a voice. Maybe we should start listening to what they're doing. Maybe we should start providing some incentives to bring more significant development. And, in terms of intra-project, I don't mean the network, I mean the projects. And, the liquidity for those projects. All of the projects on Stellar, they need the liquidity. It's been an Achilles heel for a long time for Stellar. That there's not been the liquidity on the SDEX. That's why they brought in the automated market maker upgrade, Protocol 18. So maybe they'll wake up. Don't know. Let's have a look. There's loads of stuff coming in. Someone has put here. Where did I see it? Someone has put here. Okay, Jean. Or Jeannie. I apologize merging your name. Di Francesco. I do apologize. My foreign is crap. Then all those auction people sold LSP when it finally took off. I think I've touched on this earlier on. I don't think that was the case. I think what happened was a lot of the auction people are still massive bag holders. I think it was the fact that the marketing wallet opened up and started putting exchange listings in, these different Ask Me Anythings they were paying for, these press articles with very little upside. Now, anyone that's come from a marketing world will say to you, as soon as that you try any marketing campaign, you'll split test or A/B test that campaign. So you'll say, right, is that working? Are we getting a return on investment? How many people have, what are the factors to that return on investment? Is it, we want community members, we want trust lines, we want community, we want investors in LSP to a certain level to rise. So 10K holders upwards, or what is the actual, nitty gritty? What is the, the marketing strategy as a whole, and what is our goal? But it seems as though a lot of money has been spent without an upside. So I don't think it's necessarily the LSP auction people, more so a lot of LSP has been spent, and we would question so far. And of course, this will come into its own this year, but we question if it's been spent correctly up to now as our community. And we are well within our rights as investors to ask this question on the show, right? Well within our rights. If we move down, Michelle has put, maybe a Stellar Dex credit card. The only problem with that is that with a credit card, you're going to need an owner, a private limited company who sets it up, or whatever sort of company. You're going to need directors. So DEX and directors don't really go in the same breath. You could certainly have a centralized exchange come up with that kind of card because it's obviously registered, etc. But to have a DEX come up with it, Lumenswap card would be pretty cool. I agree. I would agree if it did happen. Let's have a look. I wrote a hit for Lumenswap. Hopefully that drops soon. That's Baba. We're going to be interested to hear that. Yeah, by all means, share that in the thread. We're going to rock out to that one day, I'm sure, on our yacht party. Whatever happened to Bull Runner? Is this dude on like perpetual holiday, Glow? Do you know where he is?
I haven't heard from him. I was actually wondering the same thing a couple of days ago because he's been MIA. We may have to go out there and try to find Bull Runner.
Well, he's not even posting on Twitter or anything. He seems to have like had one of these, I think, kind of spiritual detoxes. And I think the like Shaolin monks or something have kidnapped him in Nepal or something. Mm. I asked Vlad and said, where's Bull Runner? We need him back in the community. He said he's on holiday. And I like, the dude went on holiday on the 17th of December. Is this like some kind of like round the world, canoe tournament that he's in or something? Who knows?
I hope he's good. I hope he's safe. I hope he's good. I hope he comes back. The whole LSP community got nothing but love for you. So if you're listening to this, Bull Runner, we need you. We miss you.
We do. We do. Now, what I want to do is each week.
Did we lose Ben? Let me know in the comments if you can see Ben.
Hey, I'm back.
Yep.
I was trying to. I said each week. Can you still hear me? Yeah.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Each week, I need to bring a new part to the Lumenswap Show, and that is a tutorial. Many of you guys plug into my YouTube tutorials, and I find that really, really cool that you ask comments and you get involved. But we need to work together to help you navigate the Stellar space and the Lumenswap set of clients, right? So in this episode, I'm going to talk you through adding liquidity. It's a topic on everyone's lips. Everyone is like thinking now, wow, like liquidity rewards. We are going to show you how to do that. And lots of you are obviously already aware of how to do that, but there's some new people plugging in for the first time and you're not really sure. You hear about this liquidity, you don't know about things. And we're going to talk to you a little bit and give you some tutorials. I'm going to talk to you about impermanent loss in weeks to come. I'm going to talk to you about, how you can use the Lightmint platform, how you can sell NFTs on there. I'll give you little insights into the whole of the Stellar network so you can then start picking up some hints from joining us on the Lumenswap Show. So I just want to touch on Ethy Vegan. Daniel, hope everything went well at Christmas time and everything. It's great having you on the show on the Christmas special. We had such a laugh. We do need spiritual detoxes, absolutely. And I've been on a fast myself for 72 hours. I just finished last week and I had an amazing experience going through that. And I agree, but Bull Runner has decided to do a spiritual detox in his canoe for the last month. And he has disappeared, missing in action. And we need to get the radar and the satellites to go and track him down and bring him back home to the Lumenswap crew. So I'm going to try and do a screen share again. And I'm going to show you how to do this. If we go on to, which one should we go on to? This one. Can you see my screen, Bro Glow?
You're good to go for now.
Okay.
Let's see what happens when you hit launch, because last two times
you lost me, did you? Okay, let's try it. So we're going to go on to this. We still with me?
Still stuck at launch.
Oh, we're still stuck at launch.
We're still stuck at select your app.
Okay, so it's no problem. We can deal with this. Let's go back and let's stop the share. And let's share screen. These things happen. Stick with us. These things happen. Share screen. Brave tab.
For some reason, I think it gets locked up every time you hit launch app. I think you have to hit launch app before you start screen sharing.
Yeah, I think that what I need to do, yeah, I will agree. So what I need to do is go on to the correct one. If I just kill that and kill that, I think it will help. Put your questions, by the way. If you've got any questions, if you're struggling with anything on the Stellar Network or with Lumenswap, put your questions in the box and we'll get to you as well. We'll try and do as much as we possibly can. So let's click off that. Okay, and that. And then we will go back here. I'm going to try and get it right for you guys so that we can share this. Okay, I think we should be good. I can share this and we should be away. So let's have a look.
Let's try it.
Share screen, Brave tab, pools, share. Are we good? Can we see this?
You're good to go.
Okay, so everyone that's watching, this is what's happened. I've gone onto lumenswap.io. I've launched the app. I've gone onto where the 6 clients are. I've clicked to the bottom where it says Automated Market Maker. I've come through to the Automated Market Maker. I've gone to the top right here, and I've connected my wallet. Right, so all of that is done. Now we can see that we'll go on to my pools with this wallet, and you can see there's just a few pools here that are the example pools, training pools, right, that I've set up showing people in my videos before. So this is a wallet that I use for the purpose of examples. Now, if I want to set up a new pool, now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to set up a pool with Drift and Brave. And you will see that there's a problem that's going to happen that many of you are encountering. What happens with Lumenswap is it will only show you verified assets. It will, if we go onto our pools and we come down here and we look for Stellar Asset Mobi, which is pretty popular, right? It's been very popular over the last few weeks. We're going to look for Mobi as we go down, and guess what? It's not there. Why is it not there? Because it's not verified. It's not a verified asset on Lumenswap, meaning we have to manually add it in, manually, right? So we have to go get the data from stellar.expert, the trust line, set up the, not the trust line, set up the asset issuer, get that and the name, and set it up. I'm going to show you how you do that. So you would come and click on, after you've connected your wallet, you can connect a Rabbit wallet, Freighter, Albedo, Expo, or a private key. If you're using Lobster, you can use your private key. So we can come onto my pools, and you can see here, new pool, right? New pool. Now we have to pair 2 assets together. So if you want to be getting dual rewards with Brave and Drift, yeah, with that pool, you would then add Brave and drift. Yeah, so we would then look for the asset here, and you'll see at the bottom, I have them already added in, yeah, because I've added them, but you won't have. So what you have to do is you have to add the custom asset by clicking on the bottom. You have the name, so the code, so this would be Dave, and the asset, the asset issuer, we would have to take from Stellar Expert. So we'd come to Stellar Expert, the search box in the top right-hand corner, we would put in Brave, we would search it. You can't see this now, by the way, okay, but this is just me grabbing it. We would look, and it says Brave.token age shield. There's 23,000 trust lines, so we know it's the right one. We click onto that one. We click onto the asset issuer, which is right at the top underneath the token name, and we copy that asset issuer code in. We copy that. We come back. Oops. Right. So we come back to this. And then we put the asset issuer code in. Now you can see it says already added, but yours won't say already added. You'll have to add. Then you add that in, and then hey presto, you've just added a custom asset. So I hope everyone understands that. Yeah, you add in a custom asset. Now, what we want to do is we want to add 2 of these custom assets. You do exactly the same thing for drift. You go to your Stellar Expert, you get the asset issuer, you put in drift, D-R-I-F-T in capitals. Underneath it, you put in the asset issuer. Hey presto, you've now got them, and they will appear when I click onto new pools. They will appear in your little drop down here, look, right? So you're going to have them added, Brave and Drift. These are the 2 that we want to add. Okay, next up, we're going to go and we're going to say, well, we haven't got any of those assets. We've only got some XLM, right? So we're going to have to come across and we're going to need to buy some Brave and some Drift to be able to put into the pool. So we're going to come to the swap function. Yeah, and we're going to go here where we've got our XLM, and we're going to swap some of our XLM for the assets that we want, which is Drift. Yeah, so we want to get some XLM. So we're going to put in 100 XLM into both. Then it will tell us we get 3,000 Drift, and we're going to swap that. Confirm.
I like how it shows you the path at the bottom too, straight from XLM to Drift. It's not always a straight path. Sometimes they have to go through multiple assets to get the right path. That's something you don't get on the other access points.
Yeah, exactly. So what Glow is talking about there, so if I just click off that, so now we've got some Drift. Okay, is everyone happy that we've got some Drift in our wallets? You would have to add, yeah, you would have to add that that trust line on other wallets, right? So when you're adding a trust line, essentially what you're doing is doing exactly what I've just done. You're taking the name, you're taking the asset issuer, you're creating the trust line. So then it will enable you to swap, else you wouldn't be able to swap, right? Certain assets on other wallets. Yeah, you have to add the trust line first of all. But what Glow's talking about is at the bottom here. So this, if we pull up a different asset, so let's go LSP. LSP, here we go. So it's changed, right? So now we're having to go a pathway LSP, XLM, XLM Drift, because there isn't a liquidity pool between Drift and LSP. So it's finding the best route, yeah, through a computerized system from LSP, swapping to XLM and into Drift. And now we've got obviously this Drift. We would do exactly the same. We would just go back to our XLM, and we're going to put 100 now into Brave. So we come down to Brave, we get our Brave asset here, and we can see that it's 5,000 Brave that we get, and we want to swap again. So we confirm the swap. We go and confirm it in our wallet. Sometimes you have to put the password in your wallet, and then you would confirm it. It sends it to the network, and 3 to 5 seconds later, that will confirm that transaction for you. So now what we've got, when we come to my pools, and we go new pool, and we add Drift and Brave, is you can see both of them come in, and we've got these 2 different amounts. Some people get confused with liquidity pool. It hasn't got to be the same amount of tokens. It's got to be the same value. So the same dollar value. Well, you just saw me then. I did 100 XLM of each one of these two. And what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to press max. And you'll see now that there's too many here for my balance. So what I always do is I go on the least of the two, that one, right? Because it will say it will fail. Let's just try. In fact, let's try it. It will say insufficient balance. Yeah, insufficient balance at the bottom. But if I change it round and I put the max in there, you can see I can create the pool. Another problem that you might face where it will glitch out and it will fail is if you've got too many decimals on either the top or the bottom. So what we must do is remove the decimals out so that we've got a whole number in either the top or the bottom. And it might still fail and you might need to flip it the opposite way. Sometimes the AMMs, yeah, they will glitch at having too many decimals. Right? You have to like put in one whole number. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and create this Brave Drift pair. We're once again coming. We're going to confirm that transaction. We're going to see. I'm hoping that this goes through. Successful. Now, this has got no, people are panicking. Oh, wow, hang on, like I've got no balance. I've just put in 200 XLM and everything's fallen apart and I need to contact Ben and worry about this. You're not needing to worry. The reason the balance isn't showing is because the assets are not verified. You've added to the pool. Yeah, we can go on to the Block Explorer and see our shares in our wallet. And you can see how many you've got on the one side and how many you've got on the other side. But what you can't see is, if we click onto that pool, you can see I've got 0.04% of the pool ownership. And I can see I've got this many Brave and this many Drift. But you can't see the value of it. It doesn't mean you haven't got any. It means these are not verified assets. And if they're not verified assets, it's not going to pull the price in, right? So it's not going to pull the actual liquidity. If I go back to my pools and they are verified assets, which is like XLM USDC, LSP USD, we click onto this, we can see I've got 0.04. It's telling me the balance because it's verified. So you do not need to panic. This is just a client. What you've done is you've engaged with the Stellar network. Yeah, this is just an access point to the network. You haven't got to worry that the analytics here on Lumenswap aren't showing true. So what we can do is we can go to my pools. We can pull the one that we've just put in. And if you're concerned about how much you have in this pool, you can take that amount and we can just copy that. We can go back to our swap and then we can swap. What did I actually... Was it Brave? Was it Brave that I just clicked on? No, Drift. Was it Brave or Drift?
Let's go back to make sure.
Okay. So back to my pools. Click.
Brave.
Okay, so Brave. Yeah. So I'm clicking onto Brave. Sorry, I'm having a brain fart. I'll go back to my swap, and I'd put in here USDC. I'd flip them. I'll put Brave in first. So I've got my Brave. I'd flip them through. I'd pop in the amount 5337, wasn't it? Yeah. And you would see there, that's $26.15. So I know now my pool position is worth $52.30. Would you agree? Because I've got two equal dollar values on both sides of the pool. And this just so happens, if I flip it, that will be around about 100 XLM. Bang on. Yeah, so that's the 100 XLM that I've just put into the pool. So that's the way of you checking how much you've got in your pool. If you're concerned and you click on here and people say, well, how much? I don't know how much I've got. I'm all panicking. It's like I'm going in blind and this is all new. Don't worry. Don't fret. You just pull in either one of these, take it to the swap, see how much it's worth. That's how much you have. Then what you can do is you can take your, let's do a quick grab of this wallet. So I'm just going to copy the wallet. We're going to come back to the screen share. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to reshare.
Yeah, this is since all this liquidity pool stuff is new to a lot of people. I think a lot of people hear the words impermanent loss, and then they see a zero balance, and they're like, "Oh shit, is this impermanent loss?" But that isn't what's going on here. The only reason it's showing a zero balance is because they're not verified assets yet.
Perfect. Exactly the right example there. So here now, what we have, can you see the Stellar Expert, mate?
Yep, you're good.
Okay. So I'm just going to paste in that address. I'm going to hit go. And we're going to see now, I've just put in some pool shares into Brave and Drift, and they are showing there. So if you want to double, triple, quadruple check, I can ensure that I'm in the right pool. We've got both of the right logos, and I can ensure I'm in the right pool. I click. It will take me through to the pool. Yeah, wow, 131,000. That means we can celebrate. Woohoo!
Oh.
Drift and Brave have gone over 300,000 TVL tonight. Woohoo! Well done, everyone.
Rewards coming soon. Let's get those Aqua votes in. Get
100% Aqua voting. Yeah, let's get it on. Look at this. This is incredible. 131,000 locked up. Brilliant. Okay, so we're going to come down to asset holders, and then we could scroll down here until we found out, did we say it was 0.04 or something very small, 0.04? Here we go. This is my address. Yeah, so this is now me in the pool. Okay, so we're double checking, triple checking with a cherry on top that everything is right. I have added to the pool. The next question someone asked me was, let me just come back to the threads and see if there's any questions. The next question someone asked me, guys, was, I can't remove. Yes, you can remove. Yeah, you can remove at any time from the pool. Most of the time, guys, it's just human error. Yeah, it's just human error. But remember, one of the top tips is you've got to remember when you're going into the pool about them decimals. Yeah, it's really important. Now, you can come into Lumenswap, of course, with your ledger. Yeah, and your tokens can be in your ledger. Your Brave, your Drift can be, housed in your ledger, and you can connect through with your ledger, and you can put liquidity in with your ledger as well. So that's something I'll touch on at another time if people are struggling. How's that been for you guys there? Have you found that useful in the chat in terms of talking you through and having a bit of a tutorial as part of the show as well? Or would you rather it just be talking all through? Because I think that sometimes we need to be seeing something shown to us, don't we? But we're not always like, hunting down the right YouTube videos. And I think if we can do something using Lumenswap and how we can just do it very simply using the freighter or the Rabbit wallet, this might really help you guys, right? So Edward has said that I called you Daniel, didn't I, earlier? I do apologize, Edward. But yeah, he said it's helpful. So perfect. Yeah, perfect. Okay, what have we got since I've been doing that in the thread? People are talking about Lucy's.
Yes.
So we've got Edward again asking, what is the benefit of the Drift Brave pool? Okay, well, the Drift Brave pool is a dual rewarded pool. In fact, I've done enough talking. Glow, you explain what the benefit is.
Okay, so the Drift and Brave pool, that's our very first community pool. The cool thing about it is you're not just getting Drift rewards, you're not just getting the XLM fees slowly over time, or Aqua, which currently is not getting Aqua, but you're getting Brave rewards as well. So you're getting 2 different rewards daily for providing liquidity to one pool, which is brand new for the Stellar liquidity pool system. So it's definitely something you may want to look into. I mean, I didn't know about Brave at all until that announcement came in. I read the stuff about it being able to age verify people just through the camera on the phone. I'm like, that's pretty cool. I think I can support that. I mean, I don't want my kids trying to get stuff that they're not old enough, they shouldn't have no business being anywhere near. So I definitely think that's a pretty cool use case.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much for enlightening us on the Brave Drift pool. And this is going to be something, by the way, that is going to be pretty interesting, because when I talked to you earlier on about this liquidity mining incentive from Lumenswap, and they would be looking at daily, I'm, of course, representing lead educator at Lumenswap, but of course also over at lead educator at Drift. And I would be thinking I'm more than happy for Drift to be putting up some rewards. If Lumenswap put up some rewards on that side, that pool would be fire. That pool would be insanely popular, because we know how popular Lumenswap is. And if Drift keeps going the way that it's going, people are going to have a real crap ton of rewards. One reason maybe, guys, to be not selling out the Drift token, because if that happens and you can have a big percentage share of that pool with LSP and Drift, could be superb rewards in LSP and Drift tokens on a daily basis. So you heard it here first. Someone has asked, G has said here about a quick poll, 30 minutes. Yeah, let's do that on the community, Lumenswap community channel before the show. So let's bring in, you know, maybe an hour before. Let's get your ideas on what you want tutorials on. Let's poll you up for 30 minutes before the show. Whoever gets the top votes, that's what we'll do a tutorial on, and we'll swap between myself and Glow, teaching you different aspects of using Lumenswap, and maybe Stellar wide. I mean, you know, we don't have to stop with Lumenswap specifically, although, you know, Lumenswap's building the tools. I think in the next show, we're going to be having a special guest. I've asked Phil from Drift to come and talk to us about his inspiration behind creating the Drift project. He is going to come in because he's obviously anon, so he'll come in voice only. The week after that, guys, we've got Brian, who was such a hit today on the Mint Show. He's going to be coming and talking about politics, about decentralization, about crypto, about everything that he's fired up about, and of course JPEG DAO. Then we've got Glow. Glow, who are you talking to, bro?
Yeah, I'm thinking about bringing up one of my friends. He's with Barcore Fitness. It's going to be the very first decentralized health organization. Actually, puts people work out. Has some of the biggest developers like Quincy working on it. They're actually doing an AMA that I'm about to hop on after this. So it's going to be a pretty interesting episode. Who doesn't like working out and getting paid for it? So it's something.
I think that's something I think they've talked about trying to do here, like having some kind of reward system for exercise and so it's going to be that's going to be pretty interesting, because I'd like to know how that token would work and how we can get involved. So that would be 3 weeks or more time when we get that nailed down. But we're going to be trying to bring special guests like we did with Mint earlier today. That was a great show. If you haven't caught it, by the way, head across to Twitter and check it out on Andrew Dixon's Inc.'s timeline or my timeline. Go and have a look at that. But we're going to bring this, and we'll do a 20-minute segment with the guest, a tutorial 20-minute segment, a Lumenswap, what's happening, you know, what's changing in the world of Lumenswap. We've got the auction that's going to be very, very close. And you guys that aren't already on it, you need to go and join the Rabbit official Telegram chat, because Rabbit are going to be dropping the pre-sale. And I know Glow didn't want me telling you, because he wanted all them RBT tokens to himself to share, maybe a few with Damien, but besides that, me and him holding them all. But I said, Glow, we've got to tell him. Gonna go across, join the official Telegram and their Twitter channel, right? And you are going to be getting information on their pre-sale that's coming before the auction in the next few days. They're going to be dropping that document out, and we need to be on top of that so we can stay one step ahead and we can be making some serious gains. Anything, last words from you, my friend, before we wrap it up?
All I want to say is, yeah, I'm excited. Like you mentioned, the Rebate token, it has some crazy tokenomics. So if you're not familiar with it, definitely look into it, and you may want to get involved with the pre-sale or the auction. It's going to be another exciting product to add to the Stellar community. So that's all I got to say.
Perfect. Thank you, Glow, once again. I look forward to seeing you on the many channels that we are both on. And this week, by the way, we have crap tons going on. We have Andrew Dixon Inc. has finally got to 500 Stellar Punks, and there is going to be this war, an auction war, and don't take my words lightly, there's going to be a war for the 500th edition, which is a special banned edition. If you've seen his work on his timeline, you will know he is very close to finishing that, I believe, just hours away. Then that's going to be auctioned, and we're going to see a war of people trying to get hold of that 500th Stellar Punk. But guess what? Right on the back of that, if you happen to miss out, because there are some snakes in our midst who slither in there at the last minute to try and get these pieces for themselves, when the snakes have taken that 500th edition, we have the green light from Mr. Andrew Dixon that we can auction an ultra, Joker. An ultra Joker. We're going to be bringing that to the table. One of the animated ones, the Ultra Jokers, is going to be up for grabs. This is something that I'm absolutely amped about. So that's going to be happening right on the back of Ink's 500 auction. We're going to be doing the Joker. And then we also had a tremendous piece of news today where we've got Shagzilla from the XRPL. He is an NFT monster in the stuff that he creates. He's created a drift racing car that I commissioned personally. It is the baddest thing. I mean, I've got it right here in my mural canvas, digital canvas, and I keep looking at it thinking, this is as sick as it comes. Right, and we are going to be giving that away to one person who is in the Drift Telegram channel. And that person also has to be providing liquidity into the Drift XLM pool. We're going to take a snapshot. We'll run a randomized sequence, and a person is going to win this. I have 3, and you are going to be getting your hands on 1. I'm keeping 1, and you will get 1, and there'll be another giveaway. But one of those cars that's right next to me, if you don't know what it looks like, check my Twitter feed. Thanks, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I look forward to speaking to you all in the week. Take care. Cheers, guys.